Bruce Willis first appeared on TV screens in 1985 as the wisecracking detective David Addison, and audiences found an instant connection with the actor. His biggest asset as an actor was the fact that he was relatable in every way. He looked at life the way normal people did, and he wasn't afraid to share that with the world. Bruce brought a lot of the common man to most of the roles he played, most notably John McClane from the Die Hard series. It all started during his early years. During his teenage years, Bruce realized he had a stutter, a problem that easily faded every time he took over the stage, and thus he decided to pursue acting as a career choice. After graduating, he took several odd jobs before finally enrolling at Montclair State College to study drama. However, Willis was in a hurry. He dropped out of school and moved to New York to try his luck. After years of struggle and, of course, waiting tables, his big break came in 1985 when he beat out 3,000 actors to get the role of David Addison in the TV series Moonlighting, which was not only a hit but also served as the perfect launching platform for Bruce. Hollywood came calling, and eventually, Bruce got the chance to play John McClane in Die Hard, a role he would reprise again and again for many years. In his 35-year-long career, Bruce Willis has delivered many hot titles, most notably Pulp Fiction, Armageddon, Mercury Rising, Sin City, the Die Hard series, the Expendables series, Split, and Glass, and has won 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, 2 People's Choice Awards, and a Golden Globe. In this video, we tell you some legendary facts about Bruce Willis. For instance, did you know Bruce was the first Hollywood actor to have a video game after him, or that he once got a director fired from his job over creative differences? In this video, we tell you more fun facts like this. Bruce Willis was born in Idar-Oberstein, Germany. Bruce Willis's father, David Willis, an American soldier, met his mother, Marlene, a German woman from Kassel, when he was stationed in West Germany. The two fell in love, got married, and had 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter. Bruce was their eldest child. He was born on March 19, 1955, in Idar-Oberstein, West Germany. When he was 2, David and Marlene moved to the U.S., and the family settled in Carney's Point, New Jersey, where Bruce completed high school and eventually enrolled to study drama at Montclair State University. He started acting to get over his stutter. Bruce Willis was a happy, confident, and outspoken child. However, during his teenage years, he discovered he had a stutter, which made it difficult for him to interact with other kids. He discussed his stutter with Reader's Digest. In the interview, he shared that the sole reason he participated in the production of A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court during high school was that he realized every time he was on stage, his stutter completely disappeared and it came back as soon as he got off the stage. Bruce therefore decided to pursue acting, to see if it could help him get over his stutter in the long term. He was a very good bartender. The only way to make it big in Hollywood is to wait patiently for your time to come, and in the meantime, figure out something you enjoy doing and stick to it. Case in point, Bruce Willis and bartending. He did his first off-Broadway play, Heaven and Earth, in 1977. He did several small roles thereafter, but nothing concrete came his way until 1985. So how did Bruce manage to sustain himself in New York City? He tended bar at Chelsea Central in the Upper West Side of New York. John Goodman, who knows Bruce from his struggle days, said in an interview that Bruce was an excellent bartender, probably the best in New York, and could keep people entertained all night. He wore combat fatigues and earrings to the Moonlighting audition. When Bruce Willis auditioned for Moonlighting, he was still a struggling actor with not much to show on his resume. He had done The First Deadly Sin with Frank Sinatra and The Verdict with Paul Newman, but both of these roles were quite small. On the other hand, casting for Moonlighting was becoming quite difficult, and ABC was planning to chuck the show altogether. Then Willis auditioned for the role. He donned a spunky hairdo and wore combat fatigues and earrings to the audition. ABC executives found him bizarre, but the show's creator, Glenn Gordon Caron, was convinced. As we mentioned before, Bruce's father's military upbringing played a key role in defining many of the characters Bruce played. A part of this upbringing was very much visible even in his portrayal of David Addison. More importantly, this upbringing played a key role in making Bruce align with Republicans rather than Democrats. He was not only a huge supporter of Operation Iraqi Freedom and the War on Terror, but he also once announced $1 million bounties on Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden. Surprised? Stay tuned and we'll tell you more. Meanwhile, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. He charged $5 million for Die Hard. Moonlighting opened the doors of Hollywood for the actor. The film that changed his life completely came in 1988, Die Hard. The role was offered to several major stars, including Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Clint Eastwood, all of whom turned it down. In the end, Fox offered the role to Bruce and agreed to pay him $5 million. This was big news, since even major stars like Tom Cruise and Michael J. Fox took $3 million a picture at that time. However, the role wasn't easy to play. Director John McTiernan wanted the film to have many action-packed sequences. Unfortunately, the famous table scene where McClane shoots under the table to kill one of the bad guys was so loud that Bruce ended up losing 2/3 of his hearing. Hudson Hawk was based on a song. After Die Hard, Bruce Willis became one of the hottest stars in Hollywood, and studios knew they could bet their money on him. However, in 1991, Bruce made the mistake of doing Hudson Hawk, a film about a music-loving jewel thief chosen to steal from the Vatican. The film tanked at the box office. Not many people know Hudson Hawk was actually based on a 1981 song written by Robert Kraft. Robert had shared the song with Willis while he was still a bartender, and the two had continued to develop it into a film over the years. He was the first Hollywood actor to have his own video game. Die Hard was the beginning of Bruce's journey to becoming one of Hollywood's biggest action stars. Bruce followed Die Hard with films like Armageddon and The Fifth Element, which further cemented his position as a global action star. Companies wanted to cash in on the popularity of Bruce, and thus, when the Apocalypse video game was in production, Bruce was offered the role of the main character's sidekick. However, the actor denied and instead asked to play the lead. The main character was therefore designed after Bruce Willis, making the actor one of the first Hollywood actors to have his own video game character. He also provided the voice for the character. He also had his own cartoon. In 1987, Bruce Willis released his first album called The Return of Bruno. Bruno was actually Willis's nickname growing up. The album featured big names like The Temptations and Ruth Pointer and was moderately successful. In 1996, Bruce decided to expand the Bruno franchise by lending his voice to Bruno the Kid, a syndicated animated series that lasted a single season. The series was about an 11-year-old spy kid. He once got a director he disagreed with fired from his job. In 1997, he began working on a romantic comedy called Broadway Brawler. However, within 3 weeks, he began to have creative differences with the film's director, cinematographer, and wardrobe designer. He used his power as the film's executive producer to fire everyone he disagreed with. Unfortunately, the problems persisted even after the studio replaced the director. The studio thereafter decided to shut down the film. It asked Willis to agree to star in 3 films to make up for the production cost. These films were Armageddon, The Sixth Sense, and The Kid. He put a bounty on Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden. Though Willis has managed to stay away from active politics, he's made his stances and preferences clear by supporting Republican candidates such as Fred Thompson and George W. Bush in the past. During Operation Iraqi Freedom and the War on Terror, Willis was quite open in his support to the operations. He even declared 2 bounties, one on Saddam Hussein and the other on Osama bin Laden. In an interview, he made it clear he originally wanted to offer the award to the military. However, since military personnel aren't allowed to receive awards, he decided to open the award to civilians. Bruce Willis changed the idea of an action hero. Before him, Hollywood's action heroes were idiosyncratic, muscle-bound, and serious men who lacked humor and spunk. Bruce changed all of that, and now it's impossible to imagine Hollywood without this megastar. What are some of your favorite Bruce Willis films? Did you enjoy this video? Is there anything you'd like to add to it? If so, leave us a comment. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest videos.